mic and switch off their cameras. Queries can be put forward in the chat boxes, both in Google Meet and throughout the entire webinar. Participants, now let me introduce to you the Department of Natural Products. The department has been involved in research activities since the inception of the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, NIPER SAS Nagar. NIPER, being the Institute of National Importance, is an autonomous body set up under the aegis of the Department of Pharmaceuticals, Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizers, Government of India. The institute is conceived to provide leadership in pharmaceutical sciences and related areas not only within the country but also to the countries in Southeast Asia, South Asia, and Africa. The Department of Natural Products is one of the 6 core departments in NIPER Mohali, which encompasses a range of innovative research projects towards drug design and development of model bioactive compounds and new potential drugs or herbal formulations. The expertise of the department includes extraction, isolation, synthesis, and structure elucidation of a wide range of natural products. Their standardization,
development of different dosage forms, including traditional medicine formulations, nutraceuticals, and pharmaceuticals. Participants, today's guest alumnus is Ms. Anjali Kaur, who will share her thoughts on the importance of continuous learning in a career. I now request our head of the department, Dr. Sanjay M. Jachak sir, to introduce the speaker to the audience. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you, and thank you, Monica. So, Anjali, it's nice to see you again online. So, I hope you are fine and doing good during this pandemic. So, dear students, participants, I'm very happy rather to introduce to you our one of the, you can say, very vibrant and hardworking, sincere, talented alumni, Miss Anjali Kaur. So, just to briefly tell, she had completed her B.Pharm before joining NIPER from Chitkara University, Chitkara College of Pharmacy, which is not far from NIPER Mohali. And then she joined NIPER in 2016 for her master's program in traditional medicine. So, during her program, I found her very enthusiastic, actively participating in academic activities. Even she was actually the placement coordinator for her batch and very actively actually pursued that placement activities during her batch, particularly in 2017, end of 2017 and middle of 2018. And like now she is working with Scientista as senior executive. So how she got this job also I would like to tell, because there was a competition, rather I think it is scientific quiz and elocution competition. If I'm correct, that was in beginning of beginning of 2018 somewhere. Yeah, and she yes.
Yes, sir. Towards the end of 2017.
Yes. So she actually won the first prize, okay, and also the cash holder. And due to her this talent, I think Centis Pharma offered a job to her immediately, and that's what she is now even today continuing with Centis Pharma. So with this introduction, so Andeep, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the lovely introduction. It's a pleasure to share a platform with Dr. Jachak, who has been an excellent mentor. I was also a student in his lab, and thank you for your kind words, sir. Thank you for inviting me here to a talk where I can, I hope that some of my lessons inspire all of you to do well. If you may allow, I'll share my screen and I would like to take you through a small presentation. Can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
All right. Thank you. So, my basic aim, which I will deliver through a series of slides which I have made, is to tell you that there are immense opportunities which the corporate world has to offer to all of you in different forms and methods. All you have to be is responsive and grab those opportunities while you can. So, continuous learning is not just one time learning, of course, it's a continuous process. And I think learning in any form is the minimum requirement for success in any field. As you can read here by Brian Tracy, also quotes the same. Now, I would quickly shift you through what can you expect from the corporate world, since it's huge. There are companies working in different segments. Pharmaceutical companies, there are pharmaceutical consultancy firms, etc. Majorly, the world will offer you an opportunity, of course, to build competencies, to expand your skill set. You come from a very reputed institute. You have, of course, Sniper is not one of the best, but the best of all other pharmaceutical institutes. You're merely being there, being a part of Sniper Mohali itself proves that you are unique and you have the ability to stand out from the crowd. So all now next level which you have to do is be responsive, as I said. So you expand your skill set. The corporates offer you newer opportunities every day, every week, every month. They help you to become more valuable and, of course, help others, because that is one way how you grow and acquire knowledge. Corporates heavily, all good companies, they heavily invest in the learning and development of their employees, in continuous learning of their employees. They build you as assets for their firm. All you have to have is the capacity to take that learning and deliver results. So there is sufficient learning, but don't just stop it to your knowledge which is there inside you, inside your head. Convert your learnings into action. Let your learning lead to action. So corporates offer growth, as I said, but they also offer the ones who are receptive, the ones who are willing to learn and adapt are the first people who take these opportunities of learning. Corporates invest in skill development of their employees. Similarly, your college, your department, they also invest in skill development. The opportunities which arrive are based on your skills, of course. First, they will develop the skills, but not all people will, take those skills in the equal levels. They won't absorb as much as others will. Some may be extraordinary, and some may be unable to take those skills. So, based on the skills which you acquire, your exposure, your expertise, the opportunities arrive. And one very critical part, which is not just there in corporates but everywhere else also, is a feedback. So corporates especially offer you 360-degree feedback, which is definitely given to you to make your performance appraisal more effective, to tell you what you need to improve in order to reach from A to B and B to C. What you need to be is to be proactive and vocal about the support required, because the support may or may not be limited. You will have to first identify and then be vocal about it. You will have to develop connections which will help you learn cross-functional. For example, you are in, for example, if in NIPER, you're working as, some of you are helping, supporting the placement cell as placement coordinators. So you work cross-functionally. Your exposure is different. Similarly, you're doing the alumni talks. You're working cross-functionally. Your exposure is different. You should grab all these opportunities. And most importantly, when feedback is given, be receptive and take the feedback positively. People may or may not be willing to condemn you or something, but always take the positive out of it, because feedback is one thing which can help you improve the fastest and most efficiently. Now, as I said, there are immense opportunities for each one of you to grab. As it is written here, there is more gold in this world that you can dream of. There is abundance for all. But we can't just wait all our lives for an opportunity to come to us. So, since there are opportunities arrive from your job role, of course, I will take you through the kind of centers, kind of departments or units which every corporate generally consists of. The one is R&D center, which most of you would be interested in. Then you have supply chain, you have business development, which looks after developing newer projects, managing current projects. You have human resources, manufacturing, which includes productions and packaging of materials. You have finance and IT, most importantly these days, because the world is shifting exponentially fastly to automation. But since we will be majorly speaking about R&D center, I'll tell you the parts which make the R&D. One is your formulation development, where you develop formulations. Then is your analytical development, where you are more inclined in tests and procedures in using your instruments such as HPLC, where you match the standards. Then you have quality control, you have quality assurance, you have documentation cell, you have project management, they manage the projects, the flow of projects. You have medical affairs and pharmacovigilance and regulatory affairs. It's it's something which keeps on shifting the interests. Now, because you're not a part of the industry, you can't really take your call that I'm definitely willing to go to this particular department and work at this particular designation. Some of you may have that clarity, but I can safely say that a lot of you might not, and it's okay. And the opportunities which you get here is, of course, the first is if you're an employee here, so you work and you get the regular learning opportunities. Other are one very interesting thing which happens is an internal job posting. For example, you are posted in one department and you acquire skills through, say, cross-functional connections, or you had an interest and you learned what is happening. For example, I was in analytical development when I joined Centis 3 years ago, and I got this opportunities. I got many opportunities to work with cross-functional people, to work for different projects which were outside of my expertise for analytical development. And because I acquired those skills, I got an internal job posting, which I am currently working as a senior executive in President's Office. So similarly, we have lots of cases, people who are working in analytical development, they got an opportunity, an internal job posting comes up and they shift to, say, regulatory affairs. They also sometimes shift to departments outside the R&D, such as supply chain, human resources. It is completely based on their interest, skills, as we discussed in the past slides, and the knowledge acquired. The other is employee referrals. We refer each other, you refer your friends inside your companies, you get some kind of bonuses on bringing good talent from outside. But that is again one opportunity. And then promotions, etc., which are your yearly or half yearly cycles where you get promoted. Now, something very interesting here is a lot of this functions on your ability to grab the opportunities, one, and two, it is the kind of connections you have, it is the kind of interests you lay in other people's job. It's not interfering, but yes, it is definitely learning. Internal job postings, employee referrals, promotions are some of the opportunities. The other very interesting opportunity which can come to you at any given point in time, and it is definitely not planned, is an elevator pitch. You might have to deliver one at any point. For example, when your leadership is there in a hall or in some town hall or in something, you were asked to maybe say a few words about where you come from. Like once I was asked to, I joined the company only recently, and here at Centis, there's a tradition that all new employees are introduced in the presence of senior management, where our CEO is also there, and you have to introduce yourselves. So that could also be, it's not exactly in an elevator, but yes, it's a small pitch. You have to, probably the way you see, the way you speak, the kind of words you choose to speak, the way you represent yourself, it says volumes about your ability to learn and grow. So it could be your chance to make a connection. It can be. So a lot of you can go on Google and you can of course understand what an elevator pitch is like, how to get prepared for it, but the reality is that you can never be prepared enough for an elevator pitch. So maybe you're prepared if you're too good, but it's okay not to be prepared also. All you need to be prepared is about awareness about your task in hand. You should know the problems. You should, if you have the problems, you should offer a solution and explain the value proposition of what you're offering. For example, you are currently working, you're studying in the Department of Natural Products. I do not, if I want to hire you, for example, I don't expect you to have an in-depth knowledge of, say, supply chain, but I want to know how well are you with your current knowledge, how well versed are you with the current problems, current solutions, or current areas which are going on in your campus, per se. So you have to be very alert and you have to be, of course, aware of what's happening around you. One of the other very interesting things which happen is a phase where most new employees, since all of you will be new employees, I hope, you will be facing this. Not everybody, maybe one or two of you, but this is a study which has brought out the results that most new employees feel like quitting within the first 6 months of joining. And there is nothing wrong about it. It is maybe, you changed your mind on the type of work you're doing. As I said, we cannot never be too sure of what we want to do in the beginning, first 1 or 2 years. You your work is different than what you expected. Maybe you were, glamorizing something else in your head and you landed up some other kind of job. Or there is inadequate, insufficient training given to you that you're not enjoying your work, or you don't think it's fun enough, or it's a completely cultural shock to you. But that's okay. All you need to have is a mentor. All you need to have is a person who's experienced to talk to. For example, I remember when we had the debate competition, which I won, which Dr. Jachik just mentioned. I went to him and I told him that, look, I'm confused. We are there is a debate competition now. I won it, and now they've extended me this offer. Would I be the right person to join? Should I? Should I not? So it's always advised to reach somebody who's more experienced with all these kinds of things, and you guys are fortunate enough to have a mentor already. You have to set clear expectations. I mean, you don't have to be exactly there, but clearer expectations will only help you get clearer decisions. And review the company. I mean, that's the minimum homework you guys should do. You review the company. You may talk to your seniors, etc., who are present there, and they can give you a better insight. Review the company for its culture and for the lifestyle they offer. So, as I said, it's okay to be confused. It's completely normal, but what is not okay is to give up. You're not meant for that, and you should not be doing that, of course. Now, these are some of the things which the corporate world, which the industry will offer you. Now, what is it that you should have? What is it that you can offer to the corporate world? This very famous quote, I'm sure all of you have heard of it: stay hungry, stay foolish. Never let go of your appetite to go after new ideas, new experiences, and new adventures. So do not let your curiosity, your inquisitivity die. Don't let it go away. All you need to be is to be flexible and agile. You plan something, then you collaborate, you bring teams together, then you deliver. After you deliver is what is more important, your feedback, because that's how you know where you have a chance of improving. And then after the feedback, you review it, you reiterate it, you again collaborate and deliver, and you keep doing that and you keep getting better and better and better. But for that, you have to have the capability of being flexible and agile. Then again, you must be curious and inquisitive. You can ask more and more and more questions, because no question is a bad question. And very importantly, something which is overlooked is preparation. Do not believe the glamorized folk tales of success which overlook preparation. Any step without preparation is a recipe for disaster. Any step. So we prepare for our exams, we prepare for our travel, food, even for a small party. So why not prepare enough when it comes to your career? Prepare for what you're going into and be prepared for the odds which might come forward. It's also if you want to not just join firms, if you want to have your own businesses, etc. Preparation is the key. Assure adequate preparation for the role and nature of job you prefer. So there can always be an open window because, as I said, you cannot be 100% sure, but you should know the kind of direction you want to head towards. And of course, you should do proper research, talk to somebody who's there, talk to your mentor, and I'm sure you can figure out a way. And one more thing which is required is perseverance. Stay determined regardless of any odds or obstacles that may exist. You might face some demotivation, some failures, etc. But it goes without saying you must only and only continue. And lastly, I would like to give you one small advice that all of you, I'm sure, are earning now. You should mind your expenses. This is just a personal suggestion that you must save labor for you, and their children will also labor, which is the interest, and their children's children until great is the income from their combined efforts. So spend your money wisely, invest your money also wisely. I would quickly take you through the key takeaways from my presentation and then we can have some question and answers. We learned that the corporate world offers us immense learning opportunities, growth opportunities, and opportunities for skill development. We also learned that opportunities here don't mean that they will be served to you on a golden platter. They only arise as a chance for something which is to happen. And chance again means probability. You might or might not get it. And what you can offer is, of course, adequate preparation, flexibility, and agility, curiosity, inquisitivity, and perseverance. And only curiosity we learn and hunger to learn can lead to continuous learning and development. So keep yourselves constantly updated on developments in your field. These days, a lot we are seeing, we have Olympics, we just had Olympics wrapped up, lots of people won medals, we also won one gold medal this time. Similarly, you guys are also aiming for medals. So keep the preparation, keep that kind of enthusiasm going on, and treat yourselves with proper care and caution. Do your research. Thank you. I can take questions if any.
Thank you very much, ma'am. That was indeed a very helpful session. Before we take the question and answer session, I would like Jachit sir to give his comments on the session.
Yes, please.
Yes, Anlib, indeed it was a great talk and many things I think she spoke about. And we keep telling you also during your stay at Naiper. All the students of our department are here, I can say almost, and the prospective students are also there for who are to be joined Naiper Mohalin PhD program are also online, I can see. So, Anlib, I think you rightly mentioned that you need to have perseverance, agile, and you need to be hungry to learn every day. And let me tell you, students, I am very open on these learning things and acquiring the skills. This is need of an hour. Acquiring the new skills which is required across the different disciplines and whatever career you take. Okay, whether be it academia, be it industry, be it regulation or regulatory affairs, or any other career you take which are related to pharmaceutical field or your knowledge and let us say whatever merits, medals, degrees you got, you need to be really hungry to learn and show uniqueness. It's very always easy said and done that we should do something out of the box. Okay, that we have to innovate. But now question comes, students are really don't know how to innovate. And this is a key in today's world. That's how she said also. You have to be different. Anlib mentions how you have to be different. So that is what I think it's important takeaway points he mentioned. One has to be different by doing the things differently, thinking out of the box which no one has thought about, and try to do certain innovation. I'm not saying that you do a complete innovation, a completely novel thing, but incremental innovations, they do matter. And that is what we are looking at our students. And let me tell you, students, even that now the new era of competition coming in, we are also now asking our students, why don't we file the patents? Because we totally overlook this aspect during our projects. And Unlib knows in the industry, unless and until you have patent, nobody is going to buy your product, whatever you make. And then generics are there, that is a different story. But when I'm talking about bringing new products, even in generics we have the new processes, new formulations where patents can be filed. So one has to be really well aware of even this aspect, innovation. And that is incremental innovation, we are looking at it. And see, you are going to face problems every day, and more problems in natural product research than any other branch of pharmaceutical sciences we see here. So students have to prepare for hard work all the time. Unless and until, see, this is another my personal belief, that in master's program or in PhD program, in order to get something that is worth of your hard efforts, you have to actually get or work at least 12 to 14 hours a day. And that is what always I tell students. If you do that, obviously you are going to get certain output in the form of a patent or a definitely publication who inspire to go into the higher academics or go into research and development. So this is another thing. Even if you are not interested to go into research and development, but this will never go waste, because if you go to industry, there are many jobs are offered nowadays in the, let us say, the medical writing. Okay, that is one. Then clinical protocol writing. So there are many jobs, or even the informatics job. So software development, then databases. So here also you need to have actually your skills, and if you have publication, it certainly will give you a separate and different age. So with this, I think Unlive, it was really useful, and I hope these talks are inspiring to our students. They are benefited with this, and that is our whole objective. And placements are not that easy to come by. You really have to actually show your skill, your knowledge, and how you speak, your body language during the interaction. That is very important, students. See, if you may have less knowledge, it's fine, but how you convey it to the next person, that is really important. And Liv has indirectly mentioned that also in her talk. So this is really a key and need of an hour. Another, I think, takeaway that students have to understand. So improve your communication skills. That is what I need to tell you. And I see students are lacking, because I understand students are coming from rural backgrounds to NIPERS. But see, sky is the limit. There is, if you determine, you can achieve everything. That is what I feel in the end. And I wish all the best. And Unlive, actually, it's really good to see you and interacting. And I hope you offer certain job opportunities to our department students. That is my request to you. Consider these year students for placement in Centis Pharma. Okay, so with that, I thank you, and I think the session is open to all the students for their any queries, or we can make it more interactive. Whatever queries you have regarding placement and corporate world, you can definitely ask Anil.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Ma'am, the questions have been posted. The first question is, what type of skills are required to start our career in the corporate world?
So, well, it largely depends on the kind of role you are about to take. But generally speaking, you need to be receptive, you need to be smart, and you need to have good soft skills, good communication skills, as Dr. Jachak also just mentioned. They're very important, because how else will you communicate with people? How else will you understand what they're saying, and how else will you deliver your perspective and what you want to say? So skills as such is a big set. There are small things into it, but it also depends on from where you're coming. If you have like excellent skills already, you should not stop developing them, of course. But if you think you can do a lot better, then something as basic as communication skills, something you should have a good observation. If you're able to, for example, analyze good figures, if you are able to learn things well, if you're able to manage things well, these are all smaller things. Like in the last year, we've only seen how the pandemic came up, and all heroes were in the corporate world were those who managed crisis well, because our inherent natural response to any crisis is that we freeze. We don't know what we're stuck with. But amazingly, those who did not freeze and did not waste time in being just struck, they worked, they worked harder, they responded to the crisis, and they were proficient with crisis management, and they did fairly well. So these kind of skills which you develop, which you acquire, are very, very essential for a good start in corporate world. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That was a very good answer. The next question is there hierarchy or levelization policy in centers, working environment, and what is the appraisal policy?
Okay. So appraisals are something, first year you are hired, I think probably as a trainee, and then you build your level up. For example, you are hired as a trainee in, say, analytical development, in which I was working. Then the first year is a basic, where you are taught to use different instruments, where you are taught to analyze how to work around, and then and then the next year you're given an appraisal possibly. So it's largely based on the kind of work you do, on the kind of deliverables you do. So it's not just you can go around and do a lot of kind of work. You have goals which are set at the beginning of every year. You have goals, and you set, for example, about isolating products. So you say that, okay, I will isolate, say, about uh, 10 compounds at the end of the year. So if you're able to achieve that, it's like 100% achievement. If you overachieve it, if instead of 10 you are able to isolate, say, 12, that's overachievement. So you will be appreciated, and you will be given your appraisal or the money or the pay accordingly. You'll be given extra, more than 100% also. But if you underachieve it, if it's less than 10, then accordingly you have your ratings done, and accordingly you get your pay. Your appraisals, as the question was, done. So the policy is very clear. You have set goals, and you have to achieve them. It's upon you how to. I'm sorry, I think you're on mute.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. The next question is it necessary to focus only on one, like R&D or consultancy, or can we do both? What is better?
Thank you. This is an interesting question. I see. I know the environment which happens there. The companies which come are with good packages. Let's say are consultancy firms. So all of us are just rushing. They have this mindset that consultancy is the best. Let's not target for R&D. They pay less. So those are the kind of mindsets which come up. But again, as I told you, that there is no a special skill you need for separately for R&D and separately for consultancy. You are students, everybody realize that, and they can't expect you to be best in their fields. All they can expect is for you to be best at what you are doing. Now you look around, and you can tell me by looking around only that how much of extra skills do you require. If I had 10 people in line who are just like me, as good as me, I would have to set the benchmark higher. So you can easily find out the kind of benchmark which lies around you, and clearly you don't have to work separately for both, because there is nothing out of the syllabus which any one of them will ask. All you need to have is good knowledge, subject knowledge, but also good awareness, good communication skills, soft skills. You should be well, you should be just, overall. The benchmark is what you can decide. Don't overlook to the MBA students, or don't just overlook to some particular person for that benchmark. Set one for yourself. Goals, as I said, set a goal for yourself, achieve it, and then set the next step of goals. Don't just aim too high. And yes, you can do both. uh, Good is what your interest allows you to do. If you should know what consultancy offers, you please talk to people who are working in those firms. If you want to know what R&D is like, please talk to people who are working there, but have a clearer plan. Try to get a clearer plan. I understand you can't be 100% there.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Andalib. This is Kumar. So, can I share with my experience with my juniors? Hello, can you hear, Andalib?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think Kumar, it's nice
Hello,
to
sir.
see you.
Yes,
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. I was curious to talk to you, sir. It's been
Yeah,
so
yeah,
long.
yeah. I can see that. Yeah, you please ask also or discuss,
Yes,
interact with Anlip. I'm there online. Yeah.
yes.
Then
Yeah.
we'll speak
Thank you,
later on.
thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you, Andalib, for conducting this alumni. I just need to share my experience with NP department, and after that I left NP department with corporate lifestyle. Because hello, students. This is T Kumar, and 2017 pass out done with under Jacek sir. So those 2 years I'll never get in my life again, because you people are so lucky that spending the 2 years in the uh, department in NP department, and as well as in NIPER. You know, it's like and it is entirely different. Like world is different. What you are thinking and what you are imagination in the inside the Mohali and outside the companies, like in a corporate, like wherever it is R&D and QC, this entirely it will change. Entirely it will change the things, and like how people are working and how people will treat you. Like you have to choose like which is your path. Either you want to do research, go ahead, do it. That is good. Either you want to come to corporate or pharma companies, you have to be more focused on that. It's not only like research and like in working with like pharma companies. You may have a goal like you need to get the government job like a drug inspector. If you want to try for a drug inspector, so that time you have to more focus on that, like how to get the job in drug inspector. See, the first thing is that if you want to go drug inspector, the main some people are doesn't know that, like that like what need to do. See, if you want to do drug inspector, for example I say, so you joined somewhere in the pharmacovigilance job. Okay, you will try for a drug inspector, so there things will more difficult to get that. So it means like for what you will do in the drug inspector, you definitely do the quality control, like analysis and R&D. So go for it, go to R&D. Don't no, why should I go R&D, why should I go QC, why should I go quality? Don't make that questions. If you want to clear goal, just go for R&D, learn it and how they will do analysis and how they will do quality control. It's like clear cut. Even if you want to come to regulatory, that is a good choice. And more opportunities are there. So that's I want to. Currently I'm working with Parexel. So like clinical regulatory affairs. So I'll tell my journey like how it is happened. I done in chemistry with, under Jacek sir. So after that I moved to Biocon. This is my first company. So it's like see, Andalip mentioned that within a 6 months people are leaving the job. That's not a correct way to do. See, until unless you have the proper goal, stay some time, choose for another option, whether it is correct or not. Like that is a good thing. I work with the drug substance regulatory affairs. So I thought, why should I move to formulation regulatory? So I tried. I moved to other company to formulation, and then I was there and like interested to go to clinical. So now I'm in clinical regulatory. So it's like what you like and go for it and do that. It's not like quitting and it's very hard to work in the corporate. So you choose accordingly, then you will get to know easily what is happening and everything, whether it is a consultancy company or for like core companies, or like regulatory different streams are there in R&D, QC, QA. It's not like that. For example, if you are working in QA, you may move to regulatory or you may move to R&D. So they have some facilities and based on our performance. Like we are like very like luckiest persons which we studying in Mohali or Naipur students actually. See, if you went to R&D department, so you know better than that. They are like you will get the difference like outside the people, Naipur people. See, in any company, at least you will find so many couple of people Sniper students. That's like good for us.
Thank you, Kumar sir. I didn't realize it was you. I thought it was one of the students. I kind of froze. It was so nice to be able to talk to you again. But in continuation with what Kumar sir just said, that it's okay if you think you got into a role, and if you think that, oh God, you are just stuck there, you will always have an opportunity to say internal job posting or to communicate to move somewhere else. But just grab the first opportunity at hand and just get into it. Of course, you will have some follow up opportunities also, but just maintain your associations with your alumni, otherwise within yourselves, and that's how more and more opportunities can come forth. Monica, if you have more questions.
Yes, ma'am. One last question. How can we get to know about the vacancies and join for jobs?
All right. Heads and coordinators are working very, very hard to get more and more and more companies to recruit you, to analyze you, take you. In outside world also, there are vacancies which, see, LinkedIn is a very, very powerful tool today, where all vacancies are there. You can easily locate what our company is looking for, and you can easily select. There is a huge option. There is a basket of opportunities there. Uh, one step ahead of what LinkedIn offers, you have your seniors, you have your peers. External reference is very, very powerful. For example, if I come and approach and I say work, it will be more powerful. Similarly, referral policies are also very, very powerful. You leverage the tool. Let somebody who is already inside the organization, who can give you a very clearer map of how the culture looks like, how the work life balance looks like, let them refer you, because they also get some kind of incentive. For example, I refer two people and one of them gets selected, I also will get some kind of incentive. So it's a two-way streak. You get a job, I get an incentive. I think it's fair enough. So connections, build more of them. Leverage your connections and grab as many opportunities as you can.
Some more questions have come up, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Tell us about the challenge you have faced in the corporate world and how you dealt with them.
So, interesting question. Thank you. There have been, I think, a lot of challenges. The first was, as I said, I was not expecting, I had a different something in mind maybe. But analytical development is tough. It's not easy. I wouldn't say not everybody's cup of tea, but all of us being from Naipur, I think we are well equipped at handling challenges. It was only initially that I realized that, oh God, these instruments are very complex. You have these analyzers and particle analyzers, particle size analyzers, you have HPLCs, of course, you have rheometers and all. So it was initially a challenge to learn to tell people. Sometimes you don't want to tell a person that, okay, although I have been given the training, but mujhe samajh nahi aaya, I haven't got 100% of it. So the challenges are majorly placed in learning. That's why I decided that I will talk to you guys about learning and development. Don't be ashamed to ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask again, and again until you get your answer, because you have to satisfy your gray cells, not someone else's. So challenges were majorly in learning, but fortunately I overcame and I was able to build good proficiency, I can say, with all these instruments, with all these analysis. And at Centis, we get this opportunity to visit our manufacturing plant, which is in Himachal, for various reasons, for analysis, etc. So yes, I overcame them, but the challenges were majorly in the initial stages of adapting and learning. So please adapt and learn. Don't just stop learning. Thank you.
Where can we find more work pressure, ma'am? Is it consultancy or R&D?
Okay. So I tell you, pressure, 50% of it is in your head. If you feel like pressure, it's a lot of pressure. As I said, 10 compounds could be a lot of pressure. But if you consider it as a challenge, as I told you, COVID last year has uncovered so many heroes and also uncovered so many of the people who claimed were heroes, but they weren't actually, because they could not face the crisis. Similarly, pressure is only as long as you feel it. Nobody will pressurize you that, oh, do this or do that. It's on your head. Treat them as challenges. I think the first 3-4 years are for you to learn, for you to carve yourself into a better person with lots of skills. All of you might enter with the same skill set, but in 2 years, all of you will have varying sets of skills. So pressure, consultancy, pressure and R&D both have pressure, both have different kinds of pressure. If you take them as challenges, I can safely say that none of it is difficult. So please don't use the word pressure. Use the word challenges, use the word opportunities, and you'll easily get through.
So what kind of skills are required for analytical R&D?
Okay, dear. Analytical R&D, again, you guys are freshers. Nobody is expecting you to be, something very, very proficient at something. Just the ability to learn, just the ability to ask questions, and the ability to adapt, I think is sufficient. You don't have to specially go and join some classes or sit in somebody else's lab and learn something. No, you're not required for that. You're coming from campus. Everybody safely understands that. You should just have the ability to be a magnet for knowledge, be a magnet for awareness. Just do that, and I'm sure you will not land up in a difficult situation, at least.
This is a funny one. How to read the HR's mind during the interview?
Okay. Why do you want to read nature's mind in any case? They ask you questions, you answer them simply the way you are. We speak volumes about being confident, be confident, speak well, present yourself well, as Dr. Jachik said, your body language. So, the reading HR's mind is, I would frankly say, not our job. Our work, our job as a person who wants to get interviewed is to answer relevant questions, to answer them correctly, to answer them precisely, and try not to go haywire from the point of what the question is. But again, HR can have different. They are only looking for your ability. As I said, I don't expect that you will have analytical development experience. For say, if I was to hire you, I won't expect that. But I will expect that if I am to give you a training for 6 months, you will possibly use those 6 months to learn the best of knowledge. So I am looking for that, as they say, a spark in you. You don't have to be overly enthusiastic, of course, but you don't have to be reading HR's mind. Please don't try to do that. It will, you might not end up safe, but it's, you have a big group amongst yourselves. What you can do is practice, 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 and practice. Just have some GDs among yourselves. Just have some discussions, debates amongst yourselves. You will be amazed to see how much it changes you. I think you have sufficient amount of time, spare time. If you have, you should definitely use that.
Okay, ma'am. So that was all on the question and answer session. Jajak sir has a few things to share with us. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Anlib, and thank you, Kumar. It's good that you have given lot of insights what the corporate world expects from academicians and from the prospective industry leaders who are here studying in different academic institutes, including NIPER. So, at the end, students, I don't want to take much of our times, but I want to share one encouraging and good news with all our natural products and traditional medicine students. As Anlib was from TM, Kumar was from NP. So, 5th August, you need to see also our NIPER website, SS Nagar website, Twitter account. The parliamentary panel, which is actually formed for pharmaceuticals by the government of India, that committee, parliamentary panel or parliamentary committee, it's a very powerful committee. They take policy decisions and recommend the decisions to be implemented by government, by the cabinet, which is headed by prime minister. So that committee recommended that the programs on natural products and traditional medicines be further strengthened in all the NIPERs in coordination with the Ministry of Ayush. So this is a very good suggestion, and that will bring a lot of funding to our department. So I want students to be really taking these opportunities and don't afraid to give your 100%. Always try to do whatever the best. And one more thing, the panel also said that the specialization program on natural products is conducted, in three NIPERs currently, like Mohali, then Kolkata and Ahmedabad. You know that Hyderabad also started this year. So this is another good sign that clearly tells the importance of natural products, traditional medicine, and the traditional medicine program only conducted by NIPER Mohali, appreciated by the panel. Okay, so they had a parliamentary question which we replied, I think, on 2nd August, and that was answered on 4th August in the Rajya Sabha. And now the announcement was made, and this is the really, I feel, encouraging sign to all of us, including teachers, as we are here, because we want our students to be more motivated, and they should not get bogged down that nothing happens in natural products that easily, or traditional medicine we have to labor out and work very hard to get something. But see, students, the future is in this, in traditional medicine. If you see the new drug to be discovered, this is always my strong belief, it will come in India from traditional medicine. So be positive, and what I want that all to believe that you are at the right place and you are chosen the right discipline. So be motivated, and so this is what I want to tell, that at least 4 students from each batch, 4 to 5, should aspire to do the PhD. Not that everyone goes to the job, that is also important, and circumstances are sometimes family background and many reasons. I understand that you are compelled to take the job and not to go into higher studies, but higher studies nowadays affords a lot of good fellowships, and it is quite motivating that you go for the PhD program. It is 3 to 4 years, and I think that really gives you edge, and your, let us say, the prospects of getting good salary packages also, they are actually enhanced, and you have better chance. So this is another, I think, suggestion as a department I'm putting on behalf of our department to all of you. So with this, all the best, I think, and we should continue with such talks in the times to come. So all the best. Do well and stay safe and healthy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, sir, for your encouragement. Participants are please required to fill the feedback form. And before ending the session, I would like to ask our classmate Soham feedback form. And before ending the session, I would like to ask our classmate Soham Bari to deliver the vote of thanks. Soham, you are muted.
Hello everyone. Hello ma'am. I'm Soham from Department of Natural Product, MSc. Now that we have to offer a big thanks to Miss Anjali Kaur ma'am for accepting the alumni talk and for giving session today. We thank her for sparing her some time from her busy schedule. Dr. Inderpal Singh sir for their support to make this webinar a reality. Also, I would like to thank PhD's placement coordinator from both batches, 2009 and 2020, and my fellow batchmates and juniors for their effort in making this session successful. Last but not least, a big thanks to the social media team, Dinesh, Manu, Monica, our PhDs, Mr. Datta Gore sir, and PhD sir for their coordination from start. Once again, I would like to thank Dr. Asif sir and Dr. RP Singh sir. Please turn on your camera.
Everyone is requested to turn on their cameras.
Now I would like to that ma'am has shared today. Glamorized folktale success, which over to prison. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Dr. Jajak.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
and all
much.
the best to all of you.